Have a lot of get through tonight. So let's go ahead and let's talk about a couple of announcements first. So first thing is, for those of you who are on the call right now, all of you right now are going to the retreat next weekend, which I'm so sad if anybody's missing out on it. I hope you have FOMO in the best way possible because it's going to be so freaking great. I'm really looking forward to spending time with you guys, but that means that so Logan and I are planning on heading up to St. Louis on Thursday so that we can be there for everything Friday. Like I can be at HQ early, kind of getting some stuff ready for you guys. So, with that being said, if you guys could get your assessments in ASAP on Wednesday next week, I would so greatly appreciate that because I have Wednesdays off of practice. Obviously, my practice schedule is a little bit different now with opening the clinic, and we'll get there at some point. But I'm going to try to do those as fast as I possibly can. So, Wednesday next week, please, please, please. I'll also send a reminder out after this team call as well. But like that would just make my life so much easier because Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Friday, Saturday at least, I'm out of commission. We'll head back on Sunday, but I want to have everything kind of finished up before the weekend. So, if for those of you who are going on the retreat, if for some reason you didn't want to turn in an assessment and you just wanted to talk or we wanted to catch up when we're there, that's fine too. But also, you have my full permission to still turn one in, and I will get it back to you. But Wednesday would be preferred. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, I cannot believe we're already talking about Black Friday, you guys, but we have a couple of things I need to mention about Black Friday. There's a lot of Black Friday deals that I'm going to be sharing. I always want to remind people that around Black Friday, no one is forcing you to spend money, right? Spend money on the things that you actually need, but the things I'll be sharing from like Dime and Petula are really great, but then also we have First Forms Black Friday, which First Forms Black Friday is insane. This is the one time a year where we do a ton of free gifts with orders. Now, we do like the Halloween shakers and like the Lucky Charms shirts and all that stuff, but like you get so much stuff for free on Black Friday, okay? So just remember, we do the $150, $250, and $350. So there is tiers available for those purchases. So November is the perfect time for you to stock up. It's a great way to get and knock out some Christmas presents. And honestly, the free stuff that you guys are going to get are going to, like, they could potentially be really great Christmas presents as well. I do not know what the tiers are yet. As you guys know, I shared with you early last year because all of you were great about keeping secrets. And I will share with you again early this year, but I'm hoping like next week I can be on a call because if we look at the calendar, we're already looking at Black Friday happening Wednesday, the 26th. So I know I'm talking about it 3 weeks in advance, guys, but I'm talking about it 3 weeks in advance for a reason. So you can take some inventory on your stuff. Like, what do you need to catch up with? You can kind of start tallying up your carts. But we give a stupid amount of shit away for free. And just remember, bundles are first come, first serve, right? So as we sell out of things, we will replace them with things, but like the best bundles are going to be the ones right away. And then we also do a Cyber Monday as well. So if you guys have any questions about what to get, let me know. The ambassadors and I are actually working on posts right now sorry, let me turn on my do not disturb. My mom's texting me. The ambassadors and I are working on a post of like what are their top favorites. So like Annette is one of our ambassadors. What are her top favorites? Leah's, Julian's, Abby's, and myself. So you guys can just have some really great ideas of what you could get at these like, certain levels of tiers. So Black Friday is always so good. But again, I'm telling you now because I want you to prepare for it now. So that's what I've got for you. Of course, the Invictus Girl will be doing a epic giveaway. I just can't share yet what we will be giving away because it's the biggest giveaway we've ever done. So excited about that. Any questions from you guys about Black Friday or about assessments next week, or are we good to go? Hopefully, we're good to go. Okay, if anything comes up, let me know. But as I have more information, you will get more information. Okay. So, what we're going to talk about tonight, and I don't expect this to take us the whole time. I actually just wrote a Facebook post on this, an Instagram post too, but I think it's so important to talk about this time of year. How do you combat seasonal depression? And especially with the time change, I know many of us are cursing that damn time change right now. I was telling Logan the other day, I'm like, I thought we were done with this. Really? Thought we're done with this because Arizona doesn't do it, right? So like, why is everybody else doing it? But I know that especially as it's getting darker earlier, it can be harder on a lot of us. And are there things that you can do to feel the effects of this time of year less? And the answer is absolutely. So I especially am seeing this in my patients this time of year, and I see it into December and even into January. So if we know some things that we can do to combat the feelings of seasonal depression, we can get ahead of it. And then also we can give some tips and tricks to family members and coworkers, people in our life. And I think that it's going to be some good reminders here. So we're going to go through at least five minimum. I might sprinkle in like six or seven depending on our time. Okay. So number one is earlier to bed and earlier to rise. Naturally, in the summer, we get less sleep. We get a lot less sleep. Why? Well, because the sun's up longer, right? So many of you guys, again, and I share this a little bit of this in my announcement on Monday, what that actually got posted Tuesday, but many of us in summer are staying up later because we have light that's up until, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. Whereas during this time frame, there's a lot less daylight in the day, but there's earlier daylight. So getting up with the daylight and going to bed with when the daylight goes down is important. Now, do I expect you all to be in bed at 5:30? No, but like realistically, winding down by like 7, maybe getting in bed by something like 8:30 to be asleep by 9, not super unrealistic, right? Especially for those of you guys that have kids. So if bedtime used to be 10 p.m., move bedtime to 9 p.m. That would be really, really, really huge for you. And give yourself a little bit more permission to sleep during this time. But if you're going to bed earlier, get up earlier so you feel like the days are longer. One of the things, thanks, Heather. um, One of the things that is something that I used to notice, especially in college, was I would be just so much more irritable this time of year. And then I realized I was like, oh, okay, well, why I'm becoming more irritable is because I'm trying to sleep in until 8, right? And when I'm sleeping in until 8, it has been light for 2 hours at that point. So I'm waking up, I'm not feeling rested, but it's just that I needed to shift my schedule. So earlier to bed and earlier to rise. Another really great one to focus on is move in the morning. You guys know I'm a big fan of Train with Kelsey early in the morning. But I am not saving my workouts for the dark. I'm not saving them for the cold. I'm not doing it in the evening. I'm just straight up not. Because if I get it done first thing, a brisk walk, a stretch, or a walk around the loop with Kaiser this morning, or again, train with Kelsey, the endorphins that I feel from that are going to last all day long, right? All day. Whereas if I don't do that and I save it for the end of the day, what's going to happen? Well, mentally, it's taking up space all day long, right? I'm thinking about what do I have to do? What do I have to get done? I still have to make time to work out, right? It's not optimal for me. So moving in the morning is going to be huge because you can benefit from that all day long. And especially as you're getting up earlier, if you're moving earlier in the morning, that light is going to help you wake up a little bit easier as well. So I'm grateful for daylight savings time for the light in the morning. I wish we got more light in the morning and stayed the same in the afternoon, but I really struggled when it was still dark at like, 6:45, 7 o'clock, like sun was finally coming up, because I like to be up with the sun in the morning. So move in the morning, move early, move often. That's such a great reminder. Number three, I shared this on the announcement as well on Monday, which actually again was posted Tuesday. But upping your vitamin D, right? I have absolutely no shame this time of year, guys. In September, I start. So from September through March, I supplement vitamin D, and I specifically use our liposomal vitamin D from First Form. And why I do that is because the liposomal vitamin D actually starts to digest in your mouth. Lipase is an enzyme that you have in your mouth, so liposomal, that is able to be digested in the mouth. Why that's important is because it can then survive the harsh environment of the gut, which is why, as a side note, OptiGreens is literally the top performing greens on the market because the lactobacillus that's in OptiGreens is the one of the only probiotics that can actually survive the harsh environment of the gut. So if you're taking something from Bloom or if you're taking something from like another company, those digestive enzymes and those probiotics actually aren't even making it to the gut because the acid in the gut kills them. So we have encapsulated lactobacillus, which you don't take OptiGreens in a capsule, right? But they're microscopic. Then you can actually get them down in the harsh environment of the gut. Same thing with vitamin D. So I always say, you can consult your practitioner with vitamin D as well, because a lot of people are like, oh, well, I don't want to overdose. Guys, I've literally never heard of anyone ever overdosing on vitamin D. So like you're going to be totally fine. But from September through March, no shame, I supplement my vitamin D. It is a neurotransmitter booster. It is an immune system booster. It helps your liver function, right? Because what your liver does, the vitamin D that we use, we don't just get it from the sun, right? We get it from the sun. It goes into our cells, it goes through the liver, and then it's converted as vitamin D3 that we can use, or vitamin D in general. Whereas if you're taking the liposomal form, your liver doesn't have to do all that processing and convert it from the sun. So that's going to be super important this time of year too, is vitamin D. And our vitamin C is great too, our liposomal vitamin C. If you mix it in with your greens and magnesium, you literally cannot even taste it. And it's a really great way to get it down. Like a serving size is like 3/4 of a tablespoon, and there's 30 servings, like, per container of it, and you just leave it in the fridge. So I have seen wonders with patients' lab work of using our liposomal vitamin D3. It's the only one that I use, and I would definitely recommend it for you guys. So no shame, but bump those up for your vitamin D numbers. Now, when we talk about number four, I always say that, God didn't make mistakes in what we have available seasonally. So eat seasonal, eat that medicine. So, what are things that are available this time of year? Like roasted sweet potatoes are really great. Crisp apples with almond butter, right? Tis the season for apples and apple cider. Like Honeycrisp, I'm just gonna say it. I think it is the superior apple. There's no other apple that is more superior in my opinion. But apples this time of year are really great, right? They're in season all year round because we can get them from so many places, but where can you just, where other times in the year can you get locally grown apples, right? Really important to do that stuff. Kale and butternut squash soups. I just made a butternut squash sauce this last weekend for an Alfredo that Logan and I had a little dinner party. And it's so good to cook with squashes and again, seasonal things. I love walnuts this time of year, pumpkin seeds. Nutrients are natural mood stabilizers, but there's reasons we have fruit available and produce of, veggies available at certain times of year. That's why, we don't see pumpkins in the spring because our bodies don't necessarily need the nutrients in a calendar year at that physical time. But in the spring, we see things like strawberries come back, blueberries. In summer, we see watermelons, we see grapefruits, we see dragon fruits, right? There is a reason that seasonal produce exists, and it is to assist with things like seasonal depression, to assist with things like mood regulation, neurotransmitter balance. So for your brain, all of that stuff. So do not be afraid to eat seasonally. If you see stuff this time of year that you've never seen before, guys, go in ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, how do you make something, right? Let's say that you see like for example, eggplant. I can't have eggplants because I'm allergic to nightshades, right? Eggplant's a nightshade. But let's say that you want to make something with eggplant and you're like, I've never made anything with it before. Go on ChatGPT and be like, give me the top five best dishes with eggplant. And you're going to be so shocked at what you come up with, right? So surprised. But that's a great way to learn new recipes, to see recipes. And remember, when we did that call on AI, oh, it was quite a while ago now, right? You could ask ChatGPT to make the dish with 30 grams of protein, 50 grams of protein, 70 grams of protein. You could ask it to make it low carb, right? You can do any of those things. So seasonal produce is going to be huge, huge, huge. So that's definitely going to be something I recommend for you guys. Number five is another really great one is scheduling light therapy moments, literally. My favorite thing to do this time of year is to sit in like an infrared sauna. I love some red light. But if you can, step outside for 10 to 15 minutes in morning sunlight, right? No sunglasses. Let your eyes hit the sun. Logan and I were just talking the other day. He had a patient who said something about, you know, did you actually know it's like really good for you to stare at the sun? And Logan was like, yeah, but like tell me more about like what you think about that, right? It helps us regulate our circadian rhythm. It helps reduce down melatonin production in the day, increase cortisol production, which those are inverse of one another, right? We need that, is why melatonin makes us sleepy, but it's actually so good for your eyesight as well, right? So it may not seem like it is, but it's good to look at the sun. It's good to have that bright light in the morning. So if it's cloudy, then I'll use something like, a red light box or whatever it may be. But just even if you can get outside, and one of the things we talked about in Trick or Treat in the Facebook group last month, which I think I saw Emily do, was morning coffee with sunlight exposure, right? Get outside. Even if you're not someone who can work out in the morning because you just can't, then at least getting outside first thing and like letting your eyes hit that light is so, so, so important. So I try to take those breaks, especially if you're someone who works in the fluorescent lights, which many of us do. I try to get outside for at least just a quick lunch walk, even if it's 10 minutes, if it's 15 minutes, and let my eyes like hit that natural sunlight so that I can kind of like recharge and I can wake myself up again. So hope that's a good reminder for you guys too. Number one or number six that I want to talk about here is, I just got to pull it up. And this is the last one we're going to discuss too. And then you guys can share some of the things that you do to help seasonal depression. Saying no more often this time of year. Think about how many times this summer you said yes to things, which is not a bad thing, right? But you were at concerts with friends, you were at parties, dinner, events, this, that, and the other thing. In summer, we're busy, right? There's a lot of things going on, which can help or it could hurt our social battery, depending on how you look at it, right? So saying no more to protect your energy is huge. And what I try to do, especially this time of year, is I try to guard my evenings like gold as well as my Sundays. I'm really trying to be better about taking a Sabbath and just truly taking one day where honestly, like I put my phone in a drawer and I don't even look at it because I don't need to be looking at my phone 7 days a week, right? You guys don't need to be looking at your phone 7 days a week, or at least, scrolling and mindlessly this and that and playing the comparison game. But fewer commitments equals more recharge time, and saying no to some things allow you to say yes to other things. So boundaries, remember, they're not selfish. They are mental health care and they're so beneficial for your mental health. So I often remind myself that it doesn't matter what other people think of my boundaries. My boundaries are not there for them. They are there for me. So it's just a couple things that I noticed, but I especially have to find myself saying no more times this year. Especially I'm talking about like this time that, in their year, because otherwise I'm just going to continue to run myself into the ground and have, thing after thing after thing or whatever it may be. So it's just a couple things I wanted to run by you guys and just kind of have a conversation about. So again, just a quick recap is earlier to bed, earlier to rise, move in the morning, up your vitamin D. And again, I can share the liposomal vitamin D link for you guys. I'll do that really quick in the chat because I was just talking to somebody about it on Facebook. Um, you can find it on First Form. It's not hard to find at all. Then number four is going to be eat seasonal, eat that medicine, eat that produce. Like again, food is fuel, food is medicine. Schedule light therapy moments where you can get outside and say no more and protect your energy. So, is there any other thing that you guys personally do in your lives that's not on this list that you would feel like you want to add to this list, or is there something specific that you do? I'll leave it open-ended for just a sec. Say, feel free. Yeah, and I like that using daylight light during your morning workouts for sure. The I know a lot of people like to use like the Hatch alarm clock, so it gives you some light and it kind of starts to wake you up. That's huge, absolutely. I like that, or a like a red light as well. Same thing. That's really good. What else do you guys do this time of year? Or maybe have you never really thought about it before? That's a legit thing too.
One things for me, and it's kind of opposite, but it's year round, is like my meal prepping. Because when it's dark, when I get off, the last thing I want to do is flip and cook dinner.
Yes.
So if I have it all planned out, it just makes it so much easier. It's like just choose and pick what you want.
Yeah, it's one less thing that you have to do for sure, Heather. I
Yeah.
like that. I'm gonna put that as a reminder too in our Facebook group. So thank you for sharing that. I've shared this too before, but with meal prep. So again, a lot of people find it really hard to believe that like Logan and I don't meal prep, right? I don't prep every single thing in individual containers for the week. We mass prep. So we prep two protein sources and two carb sources every single week. And our meal prep nights are Sunday and Wednesday. So we don't have enough food to get through the week, or like we can't prep enough food. Like guys, Logan eats like 3,500 calories. So I can't keep food in the fridge, right? But with that being said, so Sunday we had like a pasta and a chicken ready to go. And then we could easily do overnight oats with different stuff and like rice. And then now we're switching over to like, okay, we've got baby red potatoes, we've got butternut squash, but we have a ton of ground beef made up too. So those two things are easy because kind of like Heather's saying, like pick what you want, throw it in a bowl. So it's always okay, do we want chicken tonight? Do we want beef? And like what carb do we want? Okay, shove it in the air fryer, right? Like I'm not cooking every single night. So I am here for that. And Emily said, oh, go ahead, Heather.
Oh, I was just gonna say, literally, that's what I had for dinner because I had I had browned a whole bunch of ground turkey and had a leftover sweet potato and just mashed it all up. It looked like baby food, but that was dinner. So,
That's what we call shit in a bowl, but it
is
gets
it
stuff
literally what my husband said? He's like, that was
done.
nasty. I'm like, but it tastes good. So get over it.
And it's very minimal brain power. So,
Right.
like, I don't want to think. I don't want to do a lot of that work.
Yep.
So, I love it. Good. And then Emily said, I don't really, or I've never really thought about how to combat seasonal depression before, but all great tips that you'll do. So good. I wanted you guys to hopefully take something away from it. So if you could, with your assessments this week, let me know if there one is a way that you combat, seasonal depression, very similar to what Heather said, or if there's something where you're like, you know what? I have never done that before, but I'm going to be better about it. Truthfully, guys, it doesn't take much, right? But at the root of it, why do we get depressed this time of year, or why do those things affect us? Well, again, one, yes, the light, but we can do things with the light. We can modify our light exposure. We can maximize the time that we have in the light. We just have to plan for it. The second thing is, well, what just happened? It was Halloween, right? And then it's Thanksgiving, and then it's Christmas. What is that? A sugar overload, right? People eat tons of sugar this time of year. I think it's that the average American gains like 5 pounds between Halloween and the New Year, right? From this stuff. But also remember too that sugar is going to compete with vitamin C for your immune cells. And when sugar competes with vitamin C, sugar will always win. Always, always, always win. Vitamin C does not stand a chance against that. So you're suppressing your immune system, which is going to suppress your neurotransmitters like dopamine, like serotonin, all of that stuff. And it's just a perpetual, side effect, right? So people call it cold and flu season. I call it we stay inside, don't see sunlight, and eat candy and junk food season, because that's really what it is. So if you can be on top of these things, if you can, again, control the light exposure that you have, eat whole foods, quality foods, enjoy treats here and there, but very much in moderation, and learn how to be protective of your energy. And because we feel like so much of our energy is being taken because we don't have the light, kind of rein that back in is really important. So again, I hope you guys took something away from it, but I would love to hear your feedback when you do your summaries and your assessments this week of what is one of the main things that you felt like you took away from this. And we'll be able to move forward in that positive direction. So I'll chat with you guys next week. Like I said, please get those assessments in early next week. Wednesday would be preferred because I'm getting ready for the retreat. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your night, and we'll talk soon. Okay, bye. And I'll see some of you in person next week.